Welcome back and happy Monday to our friend Mike Epple. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was all right. It was a different Halloween as we were talking off the top of show, but it was all right. You?
I had these tong things, the gripper stick. I was just handing kids out candy with a mask and the whole thing, and yeah.
What was your mask?
Pardon me?
What was your mask?
Oh no, just the standard.
Oh, the standard mask. I thought you were talking about your costume.
I tried to find my 1975 circa Spider-Man mask, but I couldn't, unfortunately, because that would have been awesome. But anyway, I watched and also Mel this weekend watched a whole bunch of Sean Connery movies.
Oh my gosh, horrible news!
Right?
Horrible news. Yeah, we've lost a legend. That's for sure.
Yeah, my wife and I just last week, interestingly enough, watched The Hunt for Red October because it's one of our favorites, and then we ended up watching The Rock and The Untouchables. So,
oh, nice. Yeah. Some real classics there, Mike. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I should just say we're just having a little bit of an audio issue with you. You'll notice Mike does not have that big green 680 microphone, so if we cut out a little bit.
Welcome to Monday.
Okay, so let's get going. Let's talk about the markets. We're into November now, and a lot to look ahead to. Obviously, tomorrow is a big day.
And it's remarkable. Stocks are going through the roof this morning, and I can't figure out why. Because last week you couldn't give anything away. The month of October was miserable. You know, it was like, oh my goodness, it's COVID-19, it's the U.S. election, it's a lack of any stimulus, it's the whole thing. And then this morning, I've got the Dow futures up more than 500 points. So your guess is as good as mine what we can expect this week. Because, yeah, U.S. vote, decision on U.S. interest rates, jobs data, the Ontario budget's coming up on Thursday. So you want to talk about some uncertainties and volatility. That's probably what we're going to see over the course of this week.
Big question mark there. Okay, we're talking the UK going back into lockdown. And so what does this mean?
It means that the travel and tourism stocks are getting crushed this morning because the British economy is basically in lockdown. It's just essential services. They've had a spike in COVID-19 cases. And you just wonder, Melanie, how this is going to play out from a global economic perspective if we see more of this. A lot of Europe's also in at least partial lockdown again. Where we're seeing that show up is the price for oil, which is down this morning below $35 a barrel because there's just no demand for it if everybody's just staying home again in certain countries.
Mike, I'm looking at your note here. Shutting off social media. Is this you personally or the trend of?
I was just reading some commentary over the weekend, and it primarily emanates out of the United States, where it's just been a bombardment of information and news about the election cycle, COVID-19, everything possible. And one of the commentators was calling it on social media doom scrolling, where you're just leafing through each and every Twitter and Facebook feed to see what else is going wrong. And isn't that kind of a status for 2020, I thought?
100%.
And it's like, off this weekend. I was flipping around going, it is just on and on and on. And it's like, you just have to step away.
It's a bit exhausting, that's for sure, especially considering what we do, where you need to stay on top of all of it. But it's exhausting for someone to constantly bombarded by horrible news, right?
Well, anxiety levels are up, stress levels are up. People don't feel well just because all of this just weighs on you, migraine levels, all of these kind of things. And I'm just wondering, we talked last week about the earnings from the social media companies saying that things are going to taper off after tomorrow's election, maybe. And I just wonder if, in fact, people are starting to kind of say, okay, enough. I have to not look at my Facebook feed 24/7.
Though I don't think that's going to happen. I think, if anything, people are going to be looking at their social media feeds tomorrow, all this week, and into the following week, right, with what's happening to our friends in the States. Finally, for you, what should we get to? Let's talk about Tim Hortons. Remember today, you'll notice we are all starting to wear our poppies, of course, and Tim Hortons is doing something. I think have they done this before?
Yeah, if memory serves, don't specifically quote me on that, but on November the 11th, they will be giving free beverages to veterans and members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Went into Tim's just over the weekend. As a matter of fact, Melanie went inside and got the poppy because the boxes are there, and you wonder, you want to see that, the donations. Some question about that this year, right? Because we aren't going out as much and not seeing, and I'm not sure if they're actually doing the donation boxes in front of grocery stores and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. If you get a chance, get a poppy.
Absolutely. And you are seeing a select number of the virtual boxes or the tap and pay ones.
Tap and go.
I haven't seen one personally yet, but I would love to do that because a lot of people don't carry the cash anymore, right? And then the masks that they have as well to try to raise money. So a lot of options there. All right, Mike, always nice to see you. We'll work on that big green microphone for tomorrow and we'll be all set.
A little bit louder.
I can't hear you. Thanks, Mike.
Can you hear me?